Hello, hello, and welcome everyone to Women's Speakers Association's WSA TV. I'm Laura Rubenstein, your host and producer, and today we have a very special episode. As you can see, Natasha Clausen is here with us. Hi, Natasha. And
Hello.
we're so excited today to bring, at least I am, to bring to you Natasha, because Natasha is an expert in branding and graphic design and a whole lot of marketing behind her as well. And so I wanted to bring her on because branding and speakers, sometimes they don't get it, right? And sometimes we need it and we don't think, we think we need one thing, but we might need another. So, Natasha, today I would love for you to demystify branding and what it means to you and what it might mean to speakers.
hmm Yeah, well, hi everyone. Nice to be here today. Branding really can be a complicated thing because people can have lots of different definitions, but at the end of the day, it really is someone's impression of you, what they might tell someone else about you. So, as a graphic designer, what I'm primarily concerned with are going to be things like your logo, your PowerPoint presentation, your web presence, everything that people can see. And each of those different things can tell a story and convey something about us. So, say for instance, your company is conversations, that calmness that you want to convey, you could do with like white and blue colors. But if it was a jarring like red, someone might perceive violence. It doesn't really seem in alignment. So you really want to be able to convey a sense of who you are with those colors, images, and really consistency so people can recognize you across multiple platforms.
So, if I'm understanding what you're saying, your branding speaks for you before you even start speaking.
It's true. It really is true.
And so it really is important because people will see you, whether it's online or at an event, before they may even get a chance to talk to you and hear you speak and hear what you're all about. So it's critical. And tell us a little bit more about you, what you do, who you work with, and what you do for them.
Yeah, I tend to work with women in business. A lot of people have been in business for a year or two. I find that sometimes when you're just starting out, you may not know exactly what you need or what you're trying to communicate. And after you've really gotten going, you have more of an idea, you're more ready to invest because those things aren't going to change as readily. And you have a better idea of where to go. So I help people with their brand design. And that usually starts with a logo, color palette, and typography. And then it really expands to anything that's needed for your business. And that's going to be different for each business and each speaker. If you're doing a lot of in-person presentations, you might need a PowerPoint. But if you're going to like trade shows, you might need pop-ups. So there really is kind of a wide variety. So it is tailored to the individual.
Yeah, and I love that you talk about variety
Mm-hmm.
because you're more than just a logo, you're more than just a web design, but you do those things, right?
Yes.
So tell us about the importance of all of this for speakers in particular.
So again, I think it's important because people need to be able to recognize you. So whether that's on a stage, your social media, or at a trade show, there should be some brand consistency. Because if I saw you at a TED Talk and then I see you online, but I'm not making a connection that that's the same person, you're not really taking advantage of that ability to build the like, know, and trust factor. And if they don't know that you're the same person, they're not necessarily going to book you, and that's an issue. So some things like keeping the color consistent, and that doesn't mean your outfit has to be the same color, but sometimes you can wear your brand colors, but maybe the PowerPoint you're presenting with is your branded colors if you have a logo. And then your social media, same thing, use similar colors, similar pictures, and similar tone. So if what you talk about on stage is different than what you're presenting in social media, there might be kind of a gap and people are trying to figure out who is she really? What does she do? So just think about those kinds of small consistencies.
Great. And I want us to give a shout out to those of you watching. Hi, everyone. Thanks for the love and the likes. And I also want to know if you have any questions for us on branding, for Natasha in particular, on graphic design for speakers. Please put them in the comments. I will look for them in Facebook for you. So, Natasha, when you talk about, say, being consistent, and you talked about whether it's in your PowerPoint, obviously your clothes could or could not be consistent color wise, but there's something that the graphic design for consistency does for speakers. What are the different assets? Where should they have them in addition to maybe their PowerPoint?
So are you talking about like what types of different assets they should have, or which, okay. So some speakers have logos. I don't think you have to have a logo, but definitely a consistent color palette, consistent typography, um, definitely a consistent PowerPoint, and let's see, business cards. I think that speakers should still have a website. It doesn't have to be complicated, one page or so, because I think that again helps build credibility. So some people just have the social profiles, but I think having a website just adds a little bit. There's lots of resources to even do that yourself if it's not in your budget at the moment to get started. So those are definitely the things I recommend for speakers. And then again, other things as needed.
And did you mention a one sheet by chance?
Oh, thank you. That's a very important one. That's the number one that I had in my head and I didn't mention it. So yes, a speaker one sheet that tells who you are, what topics you speak on, and most importantly, how to get a hold of you and how to book you.
Yeah, some credibility in there. I was just looking at a bunch of different speaker one sheets, and I know that's something that in the Premier group we talk a lot about, and there's a lot of people asking for resources. And I've seen, and I don't know if you've seen this, but tell me, I've seen a lot of very mediocre one sheets, and I think it really pays to have a really nice one done.
I couldn't agree more. It's I'd say the one sheets and the PowerPoint, right? So you come, you have this awesome speech, you've probably put together a really nice outfit, done your hair, done your makeup, and then you kind of fall flat in either your marketing material or your PowerPoint, and it doesn't really do you justice, right? Because you have an amazing message and you want everyone to see you as professional as you are, and I think that just adds just the whole package there.
I think that's a brilliant advice, what you just gave. That I just want to highlight that nugget, which was a one sheet and a consistent coordinated PowerPoint template that you can create presentations, more than one presentation on. You start there, that's foundational. And then ideally your website matches and you have a basic website. Like you said, those three elements in place, then you've got this consistent professional look that you can now go out and get, feel good about asking for a higher fee or a fee at all. Some people are no fee speakers, but now if you want to and you have this consistency, you look like you have your act together. Now it's up to you to put the meat in there, but you've got what it takes to bring. Anything you want to say on that?
Well, that's just why I love doing the work that I like to do, right? It's just that extra bit of confidence that you feel like when you walk into a meeting, when you walk into a presentation, that you look the part. So that's always exciting for me.
That's a great nugget too. I love that. So, how can people find you and how do you work with people? Explain your process.
Yeah, so you can find me online. I'm at aspiringco.com, which is aspireenco.com. Hopefully we can put that in the comments too. I'm also in the WSA Facebook group if you want to reach out to me on Facebook. The process is pretty simple to get a hold of me. And then we kind of talk about where you're at, what assets you have, because a lot of people do have some existing assets. And it's really a matter of determining what stays, what goes. So kind of start with a brand evaluation and move forward and see what pieces we can create to really benefit your business and where you're at.
Do you want to tell a story about how you've helped someone bring their brand to life, what you did with them?
Sure. So I'm going to use an example from WSA, and I don't think she'll mind. I actually mentioned her organization earlier. It's Missy Gina from Conversations, and she reached out to me the other day because she was working on her speaker sheet. She was doing it in Canva, and I have to say she actually did a great job for not having a design background or anything like that. I was like, you did a pretty good job, but she was just frustrated because she couldn't get it to the point that she wanted, and she just threw her hands up and she said, I need help. I really need this to look, professional. I was able to help her. It came out really great. She had some good headshots too. I think that's important, good photography. And she was super happy with the end result. Now she's sending that out and she's just so excited to be able to have that to really help her speaking career. Because she'd already been on like a TEDx, but she didn't have her speaker sheet. So it was really exciting to help her with that and just see how excited she was to have that piece for her business.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of speaker one sheets from clients of mine that they think were really good, but they didn't speak. It's because they didn't see others.
Mm-hmm.
So on your website, I assume you might have a couple of them to show.
I
Or
don't yet. I've actually, speakers and authors are a little bit new for me just in the last 6 months or so. I did a lot of packaging branding before, so I'm transitioning a bit, but I can definitely add some of those soon.
cool. And also, if they email you, I would imagine that would be
Yes.
available. Yeah.
Yes. Definitely
So,
email, just not up on the website right
yeah.
this second.
Because I mean, you'll go out there on the web and look at some, and you may even think those are good, but then when you see what Natasha can do, you'll really know how to stand apart. And a lot of times, this is a noisier and noisier world. You've got to stand out. And that's what I love about what you do. And I personally have some experience working with you, and I have to say, fast turnaround time and really professional and creative
Thank you.
designs that match So here at Women Speakers Association, we're women, right? So you know how to bring out the energy of a particular woman or organization. And so thank you for that.
Thank you. No, I
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
What other tips? Like, so this gal came to you with the Canva and she did a pretty good job. If she couldn't afford you, if she just wanted to consult with you, what tip would you give her to shift, or what did you actually do to make hers better? Like, what was missing or wrong with her design, and what was the element you
Mhm.
brought in?
Sometimes it's just organization, and sometimes we're trying to do too much with one piece. With a speaker sheet, you are going to have, kind of a lot of information. So just thinking about how you segment that information and flow through it, because it was just information kind of all over there. And then what do you focus on, right? If you're trying to get them to book you, then your topics should be clear right away, right? Are they interested in your topics? Okay, great. How much does it cost to book you? Okay, great. Okay, how can I get a hold of her? So thinking about that flow, and thinking, if it doesn't serve a purpose on your sheet, it doesn't belong there. Like, if you can't name that, it probably shouldn't be on there, and get it off, because so many times our designs are cluttered. And if we just put one message in there, it would be way better than the 10 that nobody heard.
Thank you for telling me that. I'm sorry. So I was saying all this great stuff. I didn't realize you can hear me, but I love that you do this work with simplifying. I think that's what we're trying to say is you're simplifying your client's message. I've seen so many very heavy text brochures and one sheets and websites. It's good to bring out the information, but it's got to be readable, user friendly, and not too much extraneous. You don't want to give everything. You don't need to, right?
We don't have the attention span anymore either. I mean, you have seconds to capture someone's attention. So what's that message that you want them to take away?
Right. And do you help with copy as well?
I do not, but I partner with others to do that.
Great. So that's, that you may need a team involved with this, but it's worth it if you're passionate about getting your message out, if you want to be seen as the thought leader you are, and if you are serious about changing the world, you'll put the effort into it. Would you agree?
I absolutely agree, and I'm glad you brought up the copy piece, because that is somewhere where people struggle, right? And they come up and they have too much copy, and a good copy editor can help narrow that down and bring the meat out of that, and display it in a way that's going to be really helpful. And those copywriter and designer work hand in hand, and it seems sometimes like you don't need that, but it will make a world of difference for you. I promise. You'll be glad you did it.
And we're here to make sure you bring your message out in the most powerful way. If you're here, tell us where you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear from you. We are a collaborative organization. If you're here for the first time, you haven't heard of Women Speakers Association, we assist women in bringing their message out in the world by providing resources, tools to get booked, to get seen, to get paid. We have a supportive community. It's unlike any other organization you've been a part of because of what I like to call and what many members call the sisterhood here. And Natasha and I are both on the leadership team, and we love supporting members in really high level ways. Like, we're going to direct you in the right direction, especially Natasha will with branding.
We want to make you look good.
Absolutely. Natasha, maybe you can say a few words about the value of Women Speakers Association and what you are getting from it.
Yeah, well, I'd say first and foremost, as a young entrepreneur, just having a resource of other women to mentor and ask questions to is a huge benefit. When I first started out, I had no idea all the resources that were available. And there really is something special about women in business and what's going on in the world right now. And we're really kind of shaking things up. And women are doing really powerful things. And when we choose to support other women in business, whether that's through mentorship or through using their services, I mean, you're making a huge impact. And it's fantastic to be a part of and to see.
I totally agree. So whether you're a woman who is wanting to come out as a speaker and make that your primary way you're creating and changing the world, or you have services that are helping people and you want to use speaking, Women Speakers Association has the tools, the connections, the strategies, and the community to help you do that. In fact, this show is called Women of Influence and Impact who are causing and inspiring global transformation. So thank you, Natasha, for being a part of our WSA TV premiere show today. It's lovely to chat with you, and everyone will be back on with another episode next week of WSA TV featuring another couple of premiere members. Bye for
Thank
now.
you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.